Hey, you made it. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Joe Keck, and you are listening to the Radio Mouth Podcast. This is episode number 1. I made it. You made it with me. We made it. This is awesome. I have been wanting to launch a podcast for quite a while, and here it is. We're here. Will Juno is guest number 1, and he's a special guy to me. I really love Will. He's like a brother, and it just made sense for me to have him as my first guest. So thanks for tuning in. It's a cool episode. I hope you enjoy it. And we get into some really cool stuff, about his son growing up, doing a lot of his firsts at sea, learning to walk at sea. I'm not going to spoil it because I want you to listen to the episode. But a ton of cool stories of overcoming some challenges and just life at sea, talking about music. Will, you may know him from Flexidecibel. You may know him from King Crabapple. And for the OGs, the Mux Rec OGs and beyond, you may know him from the Poo Pack. And we get into why that band was called the Poo Pack, which is a pretty cool story. So thanks for tuning in. I just want to let you know that this podcast is brought to you by Barry's Greenhouses and Landscaping. So Barry's has some of the coolest and craziest selection of houseplants that you can find. I bought one. It's like a Greek goddess head with cacti coming out of the top. It's freaking sweet, dude. You should go there and check it out if you're into houseplants. They have bonsai trees. Bonsai trees? Is that how you're supposed to say it? Some amazing stuff that you can't find anywhere else, unless you probably order shit online. But who wants to do that? Hit up Barry's Greenhouses and Landscaping in North Muskegon. Shop local. Support a family business that's been around for 46 years. And if you need landscaping services and you don't want to rake your leaves or mow your yard or any of that shit, Matt Carlton and his crew will make your shit look groomed and delicious. That's all I got to say about that. Moving on. So, here we go. Without further ado, let's get into episode number 1 with Will Juno. All right, man.
Here we are.
We made it. The first one.
Cheers.
Thanks for the inaugural. Yeah. Thanks for the first guest appearance here, Will Juno.
My pleasure.
So, how's your summer been, man?
This has probably been the greatest summer of my life.
Yeah, it's actually been pretty crazy. This is probably one of the most busiest summers I've probably ever had, ever.
Yeah.
Musically, career, family. You got a son.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 kids.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome, man. And, it's just the craziest thing ever, right? We're all grown up now. We got kids.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man.
Been a while. Been a long time since the bunker days.
Yeah. So it's crazy to me, where we've come since I've met you. So I met you, years ago playing in Lakeland, and it was a crazy experience. I just came to this random house they were recording at called The Bunker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's pretty crazy sounding, and let's go check it out. And it was just this big ass house full of musicians.
Yep.
And, for me, that was like a dream come true.
Jam room in the basement, studio in the upstairs.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed just being there, hanging out. I ended up living there with you, but yeah, this guy, Baxter,
The boy, man, Baxter.
Absolutely insane. And then the musical journey. So for you, one of the first times I've ever met you or any of your posse, I should say.
Yeah.
The King Crabapple posse
Yeah.
is ZZ Top concert? Or no? Who was it? You were playing with a band at Summer Cell years ago. Where?
Oh, yeah. When you're talking about when King Crabapple played way in the back by the water.
Yes.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
That's wild. I think Ski-Town Stiley split the bill with us.
Okay. Which is an incredible band, but that was one of the first times I had ever seen any of the Mux Rec crew. Is there with my Uncle Zeke. I was a musician at the time.
Uncle Zeke, shout out to Uncle Zeke.
Yeah. So I was fresh into the scene, not even in the Muskegon scene yet. I was playing punk rock bars in Grand Rapids with dudes that were way older than me, and just being a fucking crazy punk rock kid. But for that, I remember seeing you guys. I had never seen anybody cover Rage Against the Machine at that point, so it was monumental. I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah.
And then fast forward all these years later, I tied 2 and 2 together from Mike Schurtenlieb's Gretsch kit.
Yeah.
So
the black and gray sparkle kit.
Yeah, so that was a memorable moment for me, meeting you. And then fast forward to meeting you at the bunker, recording a song with Lakeland that we ultimately, I think, trashed.
Yeah, right.
Never released it.
Yep.
To living with you, to starting multiple bands, to jamming multiple shows, to doing really cool stuff, man.
Yeah, we really hit it off pretty naturally right off the bat.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, having the same freaking tattoos, just it's
Right.
pretty weird. Meant to be. I love you. So
Turn the camera off.
Yeah. But man, I really appreciate you being here. This is something that I've always wanted to do. For those of you that are listening, this is obviously my first podcast episode with Mr. Will Juno as my first guest, and I couldn't think of anybody better, man.
Proud to be here.
The chemistry that I have with this guy is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And you and your brother are super awesome people.
Yeah.
Just unique guys. Your dad plays in the
West Side Soul
Surfers,
Yep.
which
he's been rocking.
Dude.
He's been playing live music for almost 60 years now.
60.
He's been playing
That's
music. He
60.
started as a drummer when he was 14 or 15 years old, and he's still gigging like every other weekend.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's
60.
crazy. 60 years.
I hope to jam for 60 years.
I hope to be alive for 60 years.
Yeah. I'm probably 20 years in. How long have you been playing music, dude?
I've been playing music since I was about 15.
Okay. So your dad, there's a picture of you with your dad and the guitar that you play, the Les Paul Sunburst.
Yep.
And that's your go-to guitar now.
Yeah.
Which is incredible that guitar has such a story. It's created its own legacy.
It's got a crazy history. It really
now
does.
You play that.
Yep. That's my axe. And I have like a really awesome collection of guitars that is just based on the fact that my dad played guitar, and both my uncles played guitar. My uncle Augie, R.I.P., he's a badass.
Yeah.
My uncle Tom. So they all played. My dad played a Les Paul. My uncle Tom played a Telecaster, and my uncle Augie played a Stratocaster, and I ended up with all three of those.
Wow. I knew you had Uncle Augie's guitar,
Yeah.
which is a beautiful Strat.
Yeah. It's like the Antiqua, like puke
Yeah.
green one.
But which is crazy popular, by the way. Like the band we play in with Brett, he loves those like 50s colors.
Yeah.
Like, you see those old Chevys painted that turquoise.
Yeah.
Or your grandma has puke green countertops,
Oh, it is such a
because she won't update her house.
yeah, it's such a puke green like the color of fridges in the 60s.
But all of these things have sentimental value that make, I think, such a unique situation when it's being played on stage.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a connection more than, not to get all hippie, but there's more of a connection than just playing the instrument. It's got this history within it.
It's like what I call it mojo. So like when an instrument
mojo, baby.
when an instrument has mojo and you pick it up, like Costa's bass.
Yeah.
Like I knew from the look on his face the first time he played a note on that bass that he was going to buy it, and he didn't even know he was going to buy it at that point.
And that's a red Fender.
Yeah, I think it's a 73 Fender
70?
jazz bass. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing that instruments can carry along that far and still outperform some of the instruments that you're able to get today.
It's the mojo, man.
So with music, man, I mean, you've been King Crabapple, Flexadecibel. One of the weirdest names, I think, to ever cross the Muskegon scene or West Michigan in general is the Poo Pack.
Yeah.
One thing that I've always been curious about, and maybe I've never asked you this, and we've spent so much damn time together.
Yeah.
Why Poo Pack?
Okay, so when we started playing in that band, I mean, this was like a lot of our kind of first like real bands, and we didn't actually think that we were going to like start gigging with it. And so we named our band after the code that came up on a receipt when you bought a pack of cigarettes at Wesco.
It said Poo Pack?
It said Poo Pack.
Why?
I don't know. Like
mislabeling or the
no, I think it was just like whatever code. like whatever code they had
cool.
for the
That's
receipts. So we named our band that because we were just playing in the basement, and then we started getting popular on accident.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and so that's when we like came out with an actual album. We were like, we got to change our name because we never planned on it going anywhere.
You know, have you seen the Motley Crue movie, The Dirt?
Yeah.
So there's a line in there where they're trying to come up with band names, and you know he's what about this band name? And Mick Mars says, shitty name, shitty band.
Yeah.
But in this case, you guys have been able to choose some really amazing. King Crabapple is a fucking phenomenal name. That name is so rememberable. And how the hell did you come up with King Crabapple?
I don't know. I think Mike, the drummer in King Crabapple and the drummer in Flexidecibel, and I are kind of obsessed with like combining words. So it was like it was like King Crab and Crab Apple.
Right.
So it was like King Crab Apple like put together. And I think we had a list of like 20 names and then Googled them.
Yeah.
You know, to see if any of them were taken.
Of course.
And that was like one of two that wasn't taken, so it made the cut. Chicken Wing hated it. He didn't want it.
Shout out Chicken Wing.
Chicken Wing.
I love that. You know, King Crabapple is really cool. It's unique. And then Flexidecibel, where I'm going with this is all of these bands that gain some popularity in the area in West Michigan end up with these unique names.
Yeah.
I mean, Flexidecibel is really cool because I read on Facebook recently somebody was breaking it down for somebody where it's like
Flex, Edie made that meme.
Decibel, like a music decibel,
or
volume, or sound
a measure
decibel.
of sound.
A measure of sound. You're flexing that.
Yeah,
that's super unique and badass.
Yeah. I think that was all. I think that one was all Mike Shirtenlieb. I'm pretty sure he came up with that one.
Which is, I mean, a guy that is a word major.
Wordsmith.
Yeah, wordsmith. That's that doesn't surprise me, but
yeah.
No, all of these things add up to a concoction of an incredible legacy that I think that you've created for yourself in the scene in Michigan. I mean, you know, I remember you telling me a story going to Florida and Flexidecibel was brought up.
It was the weirdest. It was the craziest thing because you know we're a regional band. I have no.
Regional.
I have no. I don't think that. I've never thought that I would go down to Florida. On a vacation, and I was on a boat with complete strangers, and I was sitting across from someone, and they looked at me and they go, "Aren't you in Flexidecibel?" And I think that my jaw dropped just as much as theirs did because I was like, what are you talking about? Well, it turns out that everybody that was on that boat was from Michigan. We didn't know it. Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool. I mean, you never know who you're going to run into on your travels. And, you know, man, I could not imagine just being on a sailboat and somebody being like, hey.
Aren't you in that band in Michigan? Yeah.
Yeah, which sailing has become quite an incredible journey and a story filled with epic adventure.
Yeah. That was when that was the day, that story that you're talking about where somebody looked at me and they said, "Aren't you in Flexidecibel?"
Yeah.
That was the very first day that I met Mercedes too.
Wow.
I met Mercedes on that same boat. Mercedes is my partner. She's the mother of my child. She's my sailing partner. Incredible woman.
Mercedes is cool, man.
She's cool as hell. Strong as a motherfucker. If there was anybody that I needed to go into a difficult situation with, it would be her.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's a really good partner to have. I feel the same way about Jillian, you know. And you know, you get through shit, you learn, you grow together, and all that stuff makes the relationship 110% more valuable than
we're just
anything,
an epic team.
You know?
We can just literally, like, her and I together, when we put our minds together, we can get anything done.
Oh, I'm sure. So with Mercedes, you know, speaking on her being, you know, strong and courageous, maybe.
Oh, courageous is a great word, yeah.
I feel like you are one of the most courageous dudes I've ever met.
Hey, I appreciate that, man.
You know, me knowing you, I've always had this, like, man, Will's fucking mysterious, dude. He does all this shit. He gets really into things and picks it apart and is a genius with what he's doing. So it's like recording, doing sound at the Pyramid Scheme. You know, when I first met you, that was your career. You were working doing sound at the Pyramid Scheme. And one thing that I've admired about you is you always find a way to not necessarily be so tied down by a job that's going to
hold you back from pursuing what you want to do, right? So it's like that stuff is really cool. It takes courage to do that. It takes, essentially self-motivation. And the same thing I think applies to the sailing thing. It's crazy that you've become this adventurous sailor who has left Michigan in the winters. And I mean, how many years has it been now since you've been going to Florida?
I think this will be the fourth year that we'll be sailing in the winter.
My favorite image that I have of you in my head sailing through a storm is, I picture you as fucking Lieutenant Dan up there. You will not sink this boat, screaming, up there, just fucking at the top of the ballast or the mast.
Yeah, the mast. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not a seaman.
That's right.
I mean, what are some incredible things that you have done? I really want to get into the sailing aspect. Music is such a big thing, but most of the people that I think are going to be listening or watching this podcast know that Will Juno is a musician. They know he's in really good bands. But the sailing aspect is something that's kind of like, he lives on a sailboat with his, with his lady
family
and his family and his son, and like they travel around in. I mean, dude, people's dreams.
My son learned to walk on the ocean. Like he literally learned to walk while we were on the ocean.
That boy's got some sea legs.
Yeah. Actually, if we want to get into some stories, the very first sail that Wiley, my son, ever went on was probably the gnarliest sail that we've ever been on accident.
Like his first sail.
His very first sail. Like,
wow.
I think he was 6 months old, and we were moving our boat from where we store it in the summer down to Key West, and we hit some weather on the Gulf of Mexico.
That's my worst nightmare.
I mean, we're talking like 25-foot waves.
25.
Dude, they were huge. It was crazy. And he slept the entire time. I'm not kidding.
Cradled like a baby
He didn't wake up until it calmed down.
By, the ocean itself.
Yeah. And there was... So... the plan was to sail from Fort Myers to Key West, and we were looking at the wind, and the wind looked good. It was 15 knots, 20 knots. That's sporty to us. We like
sporty.
Yeah, we
like that word.
Yeah.
It's a sporty kind of sailing.
You don't want it calm. You don't want it calm. You don't want it rough. You want it sporty.
Yeah. You don't want it calm.
You want to be able to move the boat. We don't want to run the engine.
That probably means no wind if it's calm. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So we were looking at that, and we decided that would be a good window for us to go. Well, a little bit of our inexperience showed, I think, and because we're used to being on the open ocean where 15 to 20 knots is not that big of a deal,
sure.
The Gulf of Mexico is a completely different animal, which we know now.
Yeah.
And
learning experience.
So because it's so shallow there,
okay,
because it's only 100 feet deep when we're used to being in 15,000 feet of water.
So the depths can actually affect the rolling of the waves.
Yeah, if you think about it, like the energy as those waves, if they don't have anywhere to go down, they're going to go up.
Sure.
And so the 15 to 20 knots of wind that was great when we're on the open ocean meant that we were getting some really serious waves, serious rollers. It was pretty intense, to the point where I was, sailing our point of sail. Another thing that was interesting about that night was it was the fullest moon I've ever seen in my life.
Really? Wow.
So it was like the spotlight.
Oh, wow.
It was like a spotlight on the ocean, so I could see all these menacing waves just coming right at us. Yeah. So what I was doing is I'd sail on our point of sail, looking off to my left, and then when I would see really, really big waves, I would turn our nose into them, so we're taking them on the bow.
Sure.
And then once they kind of passed, I would go back the other way, and I did that for about 7 hours straight in the middle of the night.
Wow, so that's one of those things you can't just turn on autopilot. Does your boat have autopilot?
Yeah. At that time, the boat that we had at that time had autopilot, but yeah, that's not something that you can just turn on autopilot for. Like you want to feel it, and you want to be, I mean, our sails are like completely like reefed down to like the third reef point, which means like we have barely any sail out. So we're dropping our sail to just a little bit of nub so that the wind isn't going to catch too much. We don't want to catch too much wind.
Sure. Wow.
In something like that. And so our sails are as reefed as we can reef them.
As
reefed out as we can get them.
So
and
that's like a correct, proper sailing term.
I don't think
reefed?
so.
No?
Well, reefed, yeah. Reefed is.
It sounds good.
Yeah, reefed is. They were reefed, but I don't know if reefed out is proper sailor terminology.
Please tell me that you have like a slick pair of boat shoes.
I actually do most of my sailing barefoot, which is probably a terrible idea.
Slippery surfaces, deep water, waves,
Yeah.
boat moving, hard to turn around.
Yeah.
Will, here's a life jacket.
Yeah.
No, man, that's incredible. I just
That was Wiley's first sail.
and it's crazy. Does anybody get seasick? Do you guys ever get seasick?
Not in our family, no.
Good God, I would. My parents had a 30-foot Catalina.
We've had some people out there that get seasick, but we don't.
Seasick is the worst kind of sickness. I think I'd rather be hungover or have the flu.
It's like the same thing. Yeah. It's just feeling awful.
And then when you get on land, you're not done.
Right.
You're still feeling.
Now you got to readjust back to land.
Yeah. It's interesting. You know, we take cruises. Me and Jillian like to take cruises. We've become pretty like domesticated with our vacation.
Sure. Yeah.
Which has all the amenities there. If you pick the nice boats, there's incredible things to do. However, we get seasick, but we get these scopolamine patches from our doctor.
Oh, patches.
Yeah, they're patches. They go behind your ear.
That's interesting.
Scopolamine patches.
I've never heard of this.
And the first time that we got it, I put it on, and I'm reading the warning label, and I'm like, all right, wash hands thoroughly. Do not touch. If you touch it at any point in the next 3 days that it lasts, wash your hands immediately. I'm like, okay, fuck. We got to be diligent about that. I don't want my kids touching it. Sounds pretty serious, right?
Yeah.
Well, then you go down, and it's like, may cause extreme paranoia, may cause extreme dizziness, all this shit. And I'm like, oh, great.
So am I being paranoid because I read the side effects, or am I being paranoid because of the side effects?
Both. No, but anyways, so I wonder if people that really love to sail ever keep something like that on hand is what I'm getting at.
We keep Dramamine on. Yeah. We always have Dramamine on the boat, but it's mostly for other people.
Yeah, and you have the stove that kind of,
gimbaled.
Yeah, so everything's probably gimbaled like crazy.
Yeah.
I stumbled onto a few different YouTubers that actually will document sailings from, LA or California to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And it's like 2 weeks long.
Oh, yeah. Longer than that.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Using all wind.
Yep.
For your power, right?
Yep.
No motoring.
Yep.
And one of the guys actually, I can't remember his YouTube name, but he has like a half-hour video of the 2 weeks that it took him to get there.
Yeah.
And some crazy shit that happened to him is he broke the rudder, so his steering was completely lost.
Yeah.
And it was too rough for him to get in the water, so he couldn't get in the water to fix it because he was endangering himself to like get knocked out if he hit the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had to be adrift for like 4 days.
Yep.
And finally he figured out how to fix it. And I mean, he's out there alone by himself, nobody else, pretty much helpless.
Yeah.
And this dude persevered through and got to Hawaii, and it was like a really cool thing to see him actually make it. But, I know you've mentioned a story to me before about having to fix some shit in like the middle of some craziness.
Actually, the very first sail that Mercedes and I were on together.
What's up with all these first sails?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's
get
like
it out of the way.
Yeah. Just break them in real quick, I guess.
Yeah.
But the very first sail that we were on together, we were leaving our anchorage, so we were heading out to sea, and it can get really rough in some of the inlets.
Sure.
Because, you have all the surge from the ocean, again, hitting shallower water, so it can really build up. And we're trying to get out, and suddenly, we're trying to put up the main sail, and the halyard gets completely tangled up.
The halyard, what does it have? I don't even know what a halyard is.
The halyard is a line that you use to pull the mainsail up. So it goes up to the top of the mast and comes back down, and you pull it, and it raises the sail. So we're trying to raise the sail, and it gets stuck on. We had what are called mast steps and there's steps that go up the side of the mast so that you can climb them.
So it's like essentially like a ladder.
It's a ladder on the mast, yeah.
Okay.
So I always made the joke, this was on our last boat, I always made the joke that we never used the mast steps except to get something untangled from the mast steps.
Sure. Yeah.
So
you don't go up there and like take pictures.
No,
or,
we
you
do.
know?
We do.
Yeah,
we
I was
do.
gonna say,
But
I'm
like I always made that joke because it was like I hated the mast steps because it constantly was getting shit tangled on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, you'd think it was like like tangleless.
Oh no.
You know?
No. Everything on a boat is a
You
compromise.
put a fucking knife, climb up with a knife in your mouth, you know.
So that
Gotta
is
cut us loose.
That is essentially what I did. Is it was tangled. It wasn't coming down. So I was like, I'll go up there. I'll fix it.
Yeah.
This is literally like Mercedes' first sale. I'm just her acquaintance at this point.
Like her first sale.
No,
No, with you.
No,
Yeah, with you.
Our first
Okay,
sale
okay.
together. No, she's
I'm
an
like,
old, she's
wow,
an
this
old
is
pro.
Too many firsts.
She's an old pro.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, I'll go up there and fix it and she's like, are you sure? And she's like, be careful.
But
Like,
you
go
had
up there.
guests with you also, right?
We had, yeah. So it was me. It was our friend Jay, and it was Mercedes. And so I climb up the mast, and I'm getting there, up untangling it, and our guest Jay looks over at Mercedes, and she goes, "Where the fuck did you find this guy?"
Yeah. Craigslist.
Yeah.
No.
So that happened, and so I got it untangled, came back down, like everything was fine. And I mean, when I'm up there, I would climb, and it was so rough that I had to time when the mast was going to swing back the other way. So when it started swinging, I would grab on, like bear hug the mast, boom.
Wow.
And yeah, it was pretty freaky. And so that I finished that, and we got it all, and I'm sitting down in the cockpit, and I'm like, my arms are just like on fire just from holding and climbing and doing all that shit. And so I'm doing that. I'm just chilling, and then Mercedes is at the helm, and she goes, "I just lost steering." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Somebody's got to go down below the boat and fix the steering."
In the water or like?
No, like climb underneath the helm,
Oh,
like
sure.
underneath into
Okay.
into the bottom of the hull.
Wow.
And so I climb down there, and we get the steering fixed, and then we get out of the inlet, and the rest of the sail was great. But that was probably, again, this is our first sail together, and it was like the most harrowing experience. And I think from that point on, Mercedes was like, I can trust this dude.
Yeah. You saved me, my knight in shining flip-flops.
Yeah. But
Again, Lieutenant Dan up there. You will not sink this boat.
yeah.
One thing you have to promise me.
Yeah.
You will reenact that for me and send me a video.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'll reenact
While
that for
you're out
you when you come down and visit us on the boat.
Yeah, I'll video it myself. I actually really do want to come down there. I love Florida.
Yeah.
And that's where you guys are pretty much stationed out of.
Yeah, yep.
Regularly is
Yep.
Florida. What part are you guys at?
We usually spend
forget.
the winters kind of home based in Key West.
Oh yeah, so you're a moondog.
Southernmost.
Is there's a name for like a Key Westerner?
Bubba.
It's straight up Bubba.
Bubba's, yeah.
That sounds like some
Yeah.
like
when I get
southern shit for sure.
When someone who lives there calls me Bubba, I'm like,
Yeah.
I made it.
I'm a local.
I'm a local now, yeah.
So being a local in Key West, so I spent when I turned 21, I spent 10 days there.
Yeah.
And I've been to Key West multiple times, but that was the first time and only times that I've been there since I could consume alcohol as an adult, legally. I did some crazy stuff in that place, and it was just me and my sister, Devin, running around that place, checking craziness out.
Yeah.
Really cool graveyard there.
Yep.
All the graves are like above ground in these like tombs.
Yeah, like mausoleums.
And there's iguanas living in them. In
Yeah.
the graves.
Oh, yeah.
So you ride through there, I'm coming through there like
Yeah.
on a bicycle that I rented, and
I know the exact cemetery you're talking about.
There's all these dinosaurs.
I run through that cemetery on the way to the gym when we're down there.
Are they snacking on humans?
No, they're I don't know if you knew this, but iguanas are vegetarians.
Hey, there's a lot of people making the change to carnivore diets.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. The iguanas might be doing it. Yeah. They're making a change.
Yeah, welcome to evolution, bud. No, but I guess I didn't realize that. Don't they eat flies? Isn't that considered like
No, I don't think they eat flies.
shit,
I think
come
they
on.
just eat vegetation.
Well, hey, maybe there's somebody that's in the tombs of vegetarian, and
Yeah. Maybe they just They probably got a
That
lot of
makes no
moss
sense.
growing on them. They're just down munching
Ew.
the body moss.
But no, man. So Key West is an incredible place. I couldn't imagine staying there and having somewhere to live like on a boat all winter long. That is something that I think a lot of people's retirement dreams are, and you guys are living that life with your son. He's going to grow up knowing this.
Yep. That's the goal. That's really the goal.
And Jillian and I also love Florida. All the weird shit aside that people kind of hype up, in the media. I think Florida is a really awesome place. There's a lot of uniqueness. Key West and the Keys in general are absolutely gorgeous.
It's really crazy, yeah.
Cool people down there. I mean, everybody just wants to have a good time. And I knew I liked Key West when I wandered into a bar that didn't serve alcohol. It was a hot sauce bar. Have you been there?
No, what is this
I
place?
hope it didn't close, man. It's a hot sauce bar. So it's a big bar.
Yeah.
And maybe they were just like trying to get by before they got like a liquor license.
Who
or something.
knows, right?
But it's like a bar. You wander in.
Do you remember what it was called?
I can't remember, man.
Yeah.
So you wandered in this bar. They have a big bar to sit at, and there's all these buckets of tortilla chips, and you just
Try hot sauce.
try hot sauces.
This sounds like a dream. I can't. It can't exist anymore because I'd probably know about it. I love spicy food.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like one of the unique things I've definitely seen there. And then they have, the world's smallest bar. I think is that still there? Where there's like 2 seats.
Yeah.
Coyote Ugly. Being my 21st birthday, my mom is very, she likes to have a good time. She likes to party. And, I feel like for 10 days straight, everywhere we went, she was just telling everybody it was my birthday still.
That's perfect.
It's
That's
like,
perfect.
it's his 21st birthday. It's like, Mom, we've been here for 9 days, and we've been to this bar 9 times.
Right.
And so we go into Coyote Ugly, and is that still down there?
I haven't been to that one.
That
No.
one's pretty cool. So, like the movie.
I mean, I dance on the bars, but
Oh, yeah.
I've been to
I'm
Coyote
changing
Ugly.
the name in my phone, the contact name for you to Coyote Ugly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
No, so I wander in this place, and my mom's like, "Oh, my son's 21st birthday."
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm having a good time. I'm like, wearing a nice shirt. There's some these ladies that are bartending, real good looking ladies, and a 21-year-old with good looking ladies can be persuaded very easily.
Oh yeah.
So they're kind of giving me the rundown. Oh, it's his 21st birthday. They're dancing on the bar, doing their thing, but in between their act, if you will, all 3 of them are like, "Hey, we're going to give you a shot, but you have to take it how we." Or no, we're going to give you a drink, but you have to drink it how we prepare it.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm like, yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
this doesn't see. So she cracks a cheap ass, Bud Light or natural ice or some shit.
Yeah.
Takes off her cowboy boot
Oh.
that she's been dancing in,
Yeah.
sweating.
Yeah.
This isn't a strip club, by the way. When I say dancing, they dance on the bar.
Yeah.
Watch the movie from the 90s.
Everybody
yeah.
knows what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
so she takes her cowboy boot off. She pours a whole beer into her cowboy boot and hands it to me. And I couldn't bitch out, so I chugged the beer out of her cowboy boot.
Yeah.
And she put it back on and went about her business the rest of the night.
That's insane.
And another reason why I love Key West.
It's a good
just
spot.
the hot sauce bar,
It's a good spot.
but the hand, foot, and mouth that I got. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it was a really, really good time. I can't wait to go back. My parents actually lived in Daytona for 4 years.
Yeah.
And they had a really cool, beach house, a couple blocks from the ocean, on the island side of Daytona. I got really into motorcycles, as you did, and going down there for, Daytona Bike Week is also another thing that's just incredibly filled with stories. But I love that place. I love Florida. And it blows my mind how with the flexidecibel story where you're wandering in, or excuse me, you're getting on this boat and they're going, hey, I know you from this. It really, that to me is like, you are where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
That is a sign that you are where you're supposed to be.
Yep.
Because you can say it's coincidence, and not everything needs to have an explanation, but there's mostly an explanation for things a lot of times.
Yeah.
But another one of my favorite things that happened with you in Florida is I get this random picture of you and my mom.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just by chance, my mom was bartending down in Daytona Beach, and she worked at this really cool place called Beaches.
Yeah.
It's a really nice place. Shitty management. That place should be banging and super busy 24/7, but this doctor put a bunch of money into this place. Really beautiful. Aesthetic is insane. There's like custom artwork.
Yeah.
Octopus coming out of the wall and shit.
Yeah.
Just a place that should be really, really popping. Anyways, you drive down there.
Stop at a
Right?
random place for lunch.
Stop at a random place for lunch.
Yep.
And my mom is your bartender and server.
She walked by my table and we both looked at each other like, wait a second.
Another thing, it's like, that doesn't just happen by coincidence. It's like, there's 100 other places you could have chosen.
Yeah.
There. And you wandered
Literally.
into this place where
Yep.
my mom is.
Yep.
On that topic, I want you to drink something. I
Okay.
don't have any extra glasses,
No, that's all
but
right.
I have two surprises for you.
I love that. I love a surprise.
They're beverages and they're alcohol filled, and I hope that's okay.
Yeah, no,
So
yeah,
let me grab
it,
this real
grab
quick.
it. Yeah, grab it. I love it.
So apparently, this right here, yes, it's used. I've drank it a couple times, but there's no way it'll take you a while to drink this.
Yeah.
It's moonshine, and Crazy Chuck is a legend down in the area, apparently in Florida.
Okay.
In the East Coast side.
Okay.
Where Daytona is and such. So he signed it for me. Shout out to Crazy Chuck and your moonshine.
Crazy Chuck. Okay.
So he has a bunch of different ones that he does, but this one I guess is the most popular.
Dude, being famous for moonshine, that's pretty epic, I think.
Look at the dude's picture.
Yeah, that's Crazy
He's
Chuck.
famous for moonshine.
He's moonshiner Crazy Chucks.
So this stuff is called Purple Jesus.
I love it.
And I actually got this as a Christmas present from my mom. My mom buys me booze and shit for Christmas.
That's the good mom, I think.
My mom's the type of chick where, if you're hanging out and you're out and about and you're not drinking a drink, she's basically being like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? You don't want another beer? I'm like, Mom, I've had 7. Like, I need a second.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Purple Jesus, this was a Christmas gift. This is from Florida, and just a little bit of a toast.
Shout out Crazy Chuck.
Crazy. I'll let you do the honors first.
All right. I love it. It's in a mason jar, too.
It's in a real mason jar.
The original Purple Jesus moonshine.
I'm pretty sure this guy was selling this out of the back of his truck, too, or some shit. But
I love it. All right. I'm going to try it.
the label's legit. It's got a QR code on it.
That's tasty.
Isn't it weird? It's like Kool-Aid.
I don't mind that at all.
It's like coconutty,
It is coconut. Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I'm sure it's a secret recipe maybe, but
Crazy Chuck.
Crazy Chuck and his Purple Jesus.
Let's get a sponsorship. Crazy Chuck, hook us up. Come on.
Crazy Chuck, send me some stuff and I'll drink all different kinds of your moonshine on this podcast.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm going to take a little sip.
Do it.
It's not bad.
Crazy Chuck is cocoa nuts.
So really this thing, I'm one of those weird people. I never robo-tripped, but I like the taste of cough medicine.
Okay.
Like really cherry.
That sounds like a lie that you've never.
No, yeah.
I just love the taste.
I think I'm getting a cold. No. I've never robo-tripped. I've always been too scared to do most things. I've never done mushrooms. I've never done acid. Stuff like that,
Yeah.
and smoked a lot of weed though, and drank a lot of alcohol. But the Purple Jesus is good. This gets the podcast thumbs up.
Yeah, no, that's great. The coconut flavor is delicious.
I'm gonna take another drink.
Yeah, do it.
You want any more?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
yeah.
So
we're gonna finish this. Yeah.
we are going to be throwing up.
I'm just kidding.
I got shit to do. I got to work tomorrow. So,
You got the lid.
so
Yeah,
you know, ultimately, I really do want to end up in Florida. I would really
Long term?
long term, yeah. You know, it's a goal of mine to have a vacation home there or a timeshare or something by the time I'm 40.
Oh, you got this.
I'm 32.
You got this. I believe in you.
So I have a little bit of time. I've got 8 years
Yep.
to figure that out. But, you know, that's kind of a cliche thing. People become snowbirds. But I love Michigan summers so much. And I love the winters in Florida as long as it's hot. So I went to Florida this past winter.
Yeah.
I should say specifically Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a freak winter storm across the entire country. So my voyage there
Yeah.
was insane. Insane.
I remember that. That was last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was. We were stupid for leaving.
It was
when
like
we
the
did.
only time I wore a jacket in Key West, I think.
We were stupid for leaving when we did. And I say that because I had to work or I had to play a gig. One of those two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I had to play a gig. And we left at like midnight while it's disgustingly terrible outside
To drive?
to drive.
Oh, yeah.
And whiteout conditions, blizzard, polar vortex number 3 or some shit, I think.
Right.
There. So, you know, we borrowed Jill's mom's minivan. We were driving there because I had my dog Nixon and 2 kids, and like traveling on a plane with that kind of baggage
Yep.
would be insane.
Yeah, no. That's why we drive, is because we have the 2 dogs.
So, you know, we're driving there. I'm white knuckling it. You know, I feel like I'm a pretty good driver. I try to be safe as much as possible, especially with your kids in the car. But I tapped out in Kokomo, which, I mean, that Beach Boys song makes it sound tropical, but it was not tropical. So,
Right.
you know, I pulled over there. I got a shitty, nasty hotel. The bed, I'm pretty sure one of the springs from the bed went up my ass, like trying to sleep on it. It was,
Okay, so bonus.
yeah, it was not good. So,
Right.
so we wake up in the morning. It was not that much better, but it was daylight. We keep driving, and we get to like the hills, those foothills in Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
and it was insane. It was completely iced over. Traffic was backed up.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
There was semi trucks with their wheels spinning, sliding backwards down the hill.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
And these are basically mountains, right? We'd probably consider it a mountain here, but they call them foothills in Kentucky. And you know, we arrive in Florida safe and sound. Thankfully, you know, we got through all that.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Jill's mom's minivan for getting us. Anyways, and we spent Christmas, and it was like 50 degrees,
Right.
40 degrees.
Like, why do we do
for
this?
3 days?
Why do we do this?
Yeah, but just being there was really nice.
Yeah.
But you know, the Michigan summers are something that I can't pass up.
I mean, look at this.
you know,
Look at that.
yeah.
That's gorgeous.
It's September,
It's September.
and I broke a sweat today
Mm-hmm.
outside
Yep.
doing shit.
It was 80.
So, you know, I really look back on some memories that we've created many times in the summer of, I guess, Michigan, right?
Yeah.
So, remember when we fucking found that sweet trail and we were longboarding and Chase broke his neck?
Yes.
It was like
That was one
a
of the
picture
greatest.
perfect
That
day.
was not for. Yeah.
Wow, there's a boardwalk patio in the middle of the dunes we can longboard on.
Yeah, and
then-
we explored
yeah,
that sand mine.
Yeah, the sand mine in Grand Haven. You know, growing up in Grand Haven, I've done a lot of partying out there in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that was my first time being out there.
Yeah,
That was a
it's-
great day.
We should go back there sometime.
Yeah, I'd like that.
I think they might have shut it down, but I think all of it's still there. But how crazy is it that they always kept this shit unlocked?
Right.
We would go in there in the middle of the night all the time.
Dude, that was a
sand
cool
mine.
spot.
You can go underground in this sand mine. There's a conveyor belt down there that brings the sand up, and it's like, why is this here?
Why is this still open?
But what they've done is they've dug into the side of this dune, and essentially, like, if any of you have ever been to Sleeping Bear Dunes, where the dune is like this and it's super big. I mean, it's like a baby version of that, but it's massive. And the whole dune from top to bottom is like this kind of angle.
Yeah.
you can run and jump off the top and you just fly and then land in soft sand. It doesn't get much better than that, being able to grow up in a place like that. But
that was kind of a dream summer day.
It was.
Until Chase broke his neck.
Yeah.
But.
And not only that, he broke a bone in his neck called the wishbone, and I'm sure there's a scientific name for it, but he was like inches away from his spinal cord.
Ugh.
And I guess a lot of people, the doctors were telling him, a lot of people that break that bone sever their spinal cord.
Oh my God, can you imagine? And then he never would have done the Blippy thing.
Yeah. Wait, the Blippy thing, what do you mean?
Because he looks just like Blippy.
You think so?
I know so.
Oh.
Have you ever compared him side by side?
No,
with
but I think I'm gonna now.
Chase Maycroft is Blippy.
Yeah, I want him to dress up as Blippy. And
Yeah, no, he needs to.
for my kids.
Yep.
No, my kids don't watch Blippy. We watch a lot of Miss Rachel, but we've actually
Miss
moved.
Rachel's the OG
dude.
for Wiley.
Yeah, I got a crush on her. Anyways,
Same.
so check out Danny Go.
You told me about this. I remember you telling me about this.
Full blown Danny Go.
Yeah.
And Danny Go is he seems like he seems like he'd be one of our boys.
Get him on the podcast.
That would be incredible. And Danny Go has incredible videos, really engaging, really fun. He kind of spins it off. Like some of his stuff is like, reminds you of Sega Genesis video games, but it's for kids.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I mean, he has
Like
these,
graphically, you mean?
yeah. So
Okay.
he's like, obviously a lot of green screen like Miss Rachel, but
Yeah.
he's like, fake running through, but the video,
Yeah.
the effects make it look like an old video
Yeah.
game where you're traveling through.
Yeah.
And he's like grabbing rings and stuff. And
I gotta
gems.
check this out. I gotta
Dude.
watch this with Wiley.
And he makes all of his own music.
Okay.
And there's this other. He has characters. So he's got like Bear Head, which is just a dude with a regular body, but he just wears one of the bear heads.
That's perfect for kids.
That Bear Head.
They
Yeah.
love that absurdity.
Yeah. His wife is really awesome. She makes the appearance on there. Danny Go is on there. He's like obviously the main character. The dude is just absolutely insane. He's like the male equivalent to Miss Rachel, but like not so educational.
A little more wacky.
A little more like your really cool gym teacher in kindergarten.
Okay, I gotta check this out.
Like you were looking forward to kindergarten every day.
I know that I have a crush on Miss Rachel, but I'm pretty sure that my son also has a crush on Miss Rachel.
Yeah, I got a crush on Danny Go actually.
Okay, cool.
So he has this other character on this show, and this is the parent segment for you guys. And his other character is like a mad scientist dude, and just like wears a lab coat and like always has this funny expression on his face, and just a really cool guy. But they make their own music. And they I'm pretty sure they produce all the videos themselves.
That's great.
So, the songs are catchy. They're really good for kids. They get them moving. They inspire them to dance. And
I got to check this out because I could use some other stuff in the rotation because Hop Little Bunny Hop 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 has been been on rotation in my brain for about 2 weeks now.
I was haunted by that shit for years.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
You want to try another you want to try another drink?
Yeah, let's do it.
This one is. I meant to bust this one out when you were talking about your sailing stories.
Oh, I got more. We can talk more.
This one's called Castaway.
Oh,
which I hope never happens to you.
No,
but that's an awesome movie.
Mercedes might cast me away off the boat if I make her too mad sometime.
Oh yeah, that's like the perfect way to like murder somebody.
Right? Yeah, she's gonna do that to me for sure.
Like if she got too mad at you, she could just be like, "Will."
He fell off.
Yeah. Oh no! Search and rescue.
Yeah.
Mayday.
Mayday.
So this is a mead from St. Ambrose. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but it's on the label. St. Ambrose.
Read it to me.
So it's a draft mead, Castaway, coconut and pineapple.
We're keeping with the coconut theme.
Yeah, I mean,
Crazy Chuck would be proud.
I saw a parrot with a eye patch, and I thought of you, so I bought this.
Okay, so
I don't have cups. We're gonna have to fucking raw dog this one.
That's fine. You know what? A video that I came across the other day
that's pretty good.
Was me, you, and Costa and Dominique.
Oh God.
In the Big Old Bitch, which is the van that we used to tour with back in the day.
The Big Old Bitch.
Driving back from a show, I think it was in Detroit or something. Dr. K.
Yeah.
And the video is us singing Queen at the top of our lungs, all of us.
Hammered.
Hammered.
Except for somebody was sober. I think Costa was driving.
The van was sober.
Yeah.
The van was just driving itself at that
yeah.
point.
Oh yeah, autopilot.
Autopilot, baby.
You took it off your sailboat and put. Oh,
Yeah.
well, you didn't have a sailboat. But I remember something very vivid of that on the way to this show. Not only did we have that monumental moment of screaming. Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. At the
None
top
of us are
our
good
lungs.
singers.
No,
Not a single one
no.
of us.
But we probably were in that moment
Oh, epic.
to ourselves.
To ourselves, yeah.
On the way there, I remember a cop following us, but we had no idea. You remember that?
Yes.
So we're driving along. Who knows how long this cop was behind us? This van is suspicious as fuck.
It screams, pull me over.
It screams.
It's covered in band stickers, and you know that it's not a church van. You know it's a musician van.
It used to be, right?
It did.
It
was an
used for-
Amish transporter.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, should I say oxymoron?
I don't know.
An Amish transporter, no, it wouldn't be that, but it's a gas van.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's probably a common misconception that
Oh, they can as long as they're not driving, they're cool.
Really?
Yeah, no, that's how it works.
Passenger princess.
Yeah, they don't want to use a phone, but you can make a call for them.
Yeah. Hey, can you imagine? Hey, can you microwave this for me? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
No, so
Google this for me, please.
so yeah. Can you I need to fact check Ezekiel.
Yeah.
So we're driving along and who knows how long these cops are following us. We are probably maybe breaking the law. I won't admit that, but we probably are breaking the law in some fashion.
Yeah.
And they go around us and pull the car over in front of us.
They turn their lights on behind us.
They forced us.
They turned their lights on
move over.
behind us. We think we're getting pulled over. They fly around us and pull over the car in front of us, and we all change our pants.
Yeah.
We thought we were getting it.
Yeah. I think I freeballed at the rest of the night. But no, man, I mean, what an incredible journey all of us have been on. Us meaning like me, you, Costa, we're all parents now.
Yeah.
We've lived multiple lives is what it seems like to me.
It does, yeah.
You know, we have really maximized, I think, our life so far when it comes to experience.
Yeah.
Not doing the norm. I mean, falling into place where we're supposed to be.
Yep.
Having a goal and a vision.
Staying open to new opportunities and new pathways.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, so many people around us have done that as well. I feel like we surround ourselves with people that are just go-getters and fulfilling some dreams. But, yeah, I mean, it's not going to stop now, right?
Man, I mean,
we're doing
cheers.
it, bro.
The boys that I play with in Flexidecibel, I got to give them a shout out because there have been so many times where a member of Flex, including myself, has been in a moment of, hardship in life, and we have all felt so lucky to have a brotherhood to rely on and to bounce ideas off of. I feel so very, very, very lucky to have been in several bands where 10 years into the band we're closer than we were at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's a really special thing within a band, because a lot of times bands break up because they can't get along.
Sure.
We just keep getting along better and better.
Yeah, and that's rare.
That's rare.
We've all been in bands where, there's drama, there's
personality clashes.
Oh, God. Yeah, when you get that many people.
Ego drama.
You're always in bands that have like 19 people. Like, that's just, for some reason, you guys just love that shit, dude.
What is the deal with that?
Yeah. It's like, hey, do you want to join? Yeah. You play music?
Oh, yeah. We'll just get everybody in there.
Yeah. I'm going to join Flexidecibel.
Yeah. Double drummers.
No, I'm not going to play drums.
What you gonna learn a horn?
I'm going to play,
what do you got?
I don't know. I'm going to whistle.
You gonna sing?
I'm going to whistle.
Yeah. Sing for me.
But
Calico's been fun.
Yeah, so super stoked to have you in Calico. So, to bring you up to speed on Calico, if you haven't heard, myself, Brett, Bouchard, Kyle Brown, Costa Karras, now Will Juno.
All-star cast.
We
really.
have joined forces to write what we were calling grime reggae. And it's been a blast, man. I mean, we've put together some songs. This band was formed on accident, it seems like. And when I say
those are the
by-
best. Those are the best ones.
Happy accidents,
yeah.
And when I say by accident, I mean, Brett came to me one day and was like, "Hey, dude, I have a show booked, Burning Foot, which is a huge festival in Muskegon."
That was the gig that coalesced Calico. I didn't realize that.
Yes, that was our first gig, and that was the reason that band was put together. And you guys played that event as well, right?
That was this year?
No, sorry, the previous year. We played 2 years in a row.
I don't think we
You
played
guys-
it that year.
No, you guys weren't on that one.
Yeah.
But you and I have to have the running for playing Burning Foot the most times out of anybody.
Literally. Me and you. Yeah.
You, and Mike Shirtley probably as well. But you and I have played in bands that those guys weren't in.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Alan, Jeff, all the people, Eric, all the people that put Burning Foot together.
What a great event for Muskegon.
I mean, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for including us in that journey. Played the first one ever, which was a tiny stage, to played this last year, which was huge production,
Incredible.
Big sound, big lights.
Man, they got it slick now.
They got it.
They know
slick
what
now.
they're doing now.
So, what an incredible thing to have. So Calico was formed because we had this show. Brett calls me up. We had to put a band together, and we pulled it off. We got Kyle Brown. We got Brett's sister Alyssa,
Yep.
who's an awesome musician.
Kyle's a powerhouse.
Kyle's a powerhouse.
He's great at
Yeah,
writing.
yeah.
Costa's incredible on bass. Like it's really really feels all star. And when we had the last practice, we wrote a song together, and I was like, this feels like it's clicking.
I mean, our charisma from day one of have you joining is kind of like the example used with Flexidecibel, where you keep growing. So
Yeah.
you keep growing in your friendship. You keep growing as musicians, and for people that haven't been able to experience making music with another human, it is such a rare, unexplainable feeling.
Conversations
Like,
without words.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're using something. I mean, everybody kind of knows how to. Everybody knows how to talk and use words, but
Right.
you're expressing yourself with a talent.
Yeah.
Like it feels supernatural sometimes.
It does. It really does. And,
You know?
and just like making each other happy with notes.
I can't explain. I guess the only way I can explain this is like when we're playing a song and somebody does something really cool, like if we're jamming, I can't help but smile.
Right.
It makes me smile.
Bro, I
or
know
laugh.
exactly what you're talking about.
It's like I don't know why.
Dude, we played at Rake Brewing Company this weekend on
Oh,
Friday.
yeah, how was that show?
Oh, it was so fun.
I bet, man.
And I
Man.
felt like it was like we were really clicking as a group, and Mike was playing some fills where he was just reaching and being super creative
Good.
in the moment. And
Love that.
I couldn't help but turn around from my keyboard and just look at him, because I was like, dude, I could just feel him like letting loose.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about somebody who spends so much time at their craft.
He's incredible.
I mean, that's a prime example of if you have a dream or if you need to achieve something that is just burning in your soul to achieve, doing it the way that he's doing it, it's going to happen.
Bro, I have been playing music consistently with that guy for over 20 years.
Right. Which is insane.
That's insane.
And would you say, I know he's always been a very, passionate drummer, but like within the last, 5 to 10 years, it's like somebody ignited that guy on fire.
I feel, if I had to put it into words, I would say that I feel like he has kind of opened, I think that he's gained a lot of courageousness
Sure.
in his drumming. I feel like he has gone from kind of the nuts and bolts to really inserting his creativeness, in addition to working on his craft nonstop. And it's been super inspiring to see.
Yeah, it inspires me as a fellow drummer as well. It's like I am passionate about drums as well, but I find myself I get distractions.
Yeah.
I can focus on one thing, but with my ADD, I'm like, I get really into this, and then I get really into that. And that guy is like, nope, just this, just drums.
Yeah, he's great.
And words, which that's the formula of success. That's the formula of making
Consistency.
Making it is if you do that and only that, it will happen.
He could be a gig. He could be a nonstop gigging drummer in Nashville if he wanted to be.
I'm surprised he hasn't, but I know he has everything he needs here. I mean, he's been at the Temple House for forever, and
I think he's lived there. I think he's lived there for like 15 years.
What a unique place to have to be apartments. I played a show there with fucking Beartooth.
Right.
Do you ever heard of that band?
Yeah.
Beartooth?
Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah.
They were like one of the only bands signed to Red Bull Records.
Right.
Like Red Bull was behind these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I played a show at the Temple House with this band.
Yeah. Faith.
It's crazy.
Faith. The person who owns that. Faith.
Oh yeah.
Like she put punk rock shows on in the basement there. I mean, she let us jam in the basement there. She has a great ability to let people be creative in their space. Like, what other apartment building can you sit and play drums in?
Yeah, and make it a stipulation of like, hey, if you live here,
if you move in here,
you have to be okay with this.
You're gonna listen to music.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, that is a rarity. That place deserves its own documentary.
It really does, honestly.
Well, shit. Maybe we should fucking.
Hey, there we go.
I mean, you lived at the Temple House, also, right?
Yeah, I think I was.
Yeah.
I think I was the first person to move in there after, like, to be a regular. After Faith bought it.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of like followed me in there, and it's been kind of an epicenter. I think without even knowing it, it's been kind of an epicenter of West Michigan music.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. I mean, tons of big names have come through there. You know, a lot of bands that were touring in 2011, 2012, probably even before that. 2013. Like all these bands that were destined to now be big in like the punk scene, the indie scene, the shoegaze stuff. A lot of those bands have come through. I can't think of any specifics, but I know there's, I know Danny Bruick has brought quite a few bands
Quite a few.
That have blown up.
Yep.
At the Temple House, bro. And yeah, I mean, that is just a stepping stone for everybody, but it still exists now. And Mike plays drums there for all the tenants every day.
Yeah. Like, I think between Mike and I, we've lived in every apartment in that place.
Really?
Yeah. I've lived in like 3 or 4 of them, and I know he's lived in several of them.
He's in there's an Airbnb, the one with the French doors on first floor.
That's the one he's in now.
That's a cool one.
It's a great apartment.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
they put some work into it now, so his pad is really sick.
I am too bougie. I like AC and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I need granite countertops.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's good.
No, I like.
It's good to know your tastes,
But no, man, I am just super thrilled to know all of you guys. My musical journey personally has advanced, I know for a fact, because I was connected with you guys. And the Mux Rec crew was still relevant when I was, joining you guys, and I became like a cult follower. I wanted to wear the shirt. I wanted to fucking be a part of Mux Rec as much as possible.
Yeah.
I had all this pride involved in it. I was like super pro you and Lou and just like Mux Rec, like all day. And, meeting dudes like Justin Avdek and Steve Harris and Mikey Stifler and all these guys. I mean, Mikey Stifler, I was watching him with, my high school girlfriends going to shows in the Fruitport Library basement. And
for real?
And without realizing it, I was going to, I grew up in Grand Haven, so there was the Muskegon scene that was middle school, high school, like, they threw a lot of good shows here. Grand Haven didn't really throw shows,
Right.
And I started, middle school going to a bunch of shows in Muskegon. If He Dies, He Dies.
Legends.
Being fucking like 13, 12 years old, going to, downtown Muskegon on a school night at like, on a Thursday night at fucking 11 p.m.
Are you talking about the Ice Pick?
I know I've been to the Ice Pick for shows, but there was this other place that I seen If He Dies, He Dies at once, and I remember to get in was like these giant plywood doors, and it was like somewhere downtown. Maybe I know it was over by like the train depot downtown.
Okay.
And it might even been in a place that's torn down now, but
Okay.
it was just like this storage room that was not used as storage. Like it had like a stage, not like a stage, but it had like a section for bands. And If He Dies, He Dies was there. I had, my skater long hair, and their music would just overtake me, and I couldn't help but like headbang, like as hard as I could. And
I loved Iffy back in the day.
yeah, I saw this crazy band there with them at that show that was a part of Friction Records.
Mm-hmm.
And they were called Today I Wait. And they were an incredible, dude, being like 12, 13, seeing that stuff, being able to go, having cool enough parents to like allow you to get that culture of the music scene, go and see that. That kind of stuff has influenced me so powerful to want to play live shows. And that's all I wanted to do. Just like Mike Shirtenlieb, the topic of him, all he wants to do is play drums. That's what he does. He's getting the recognition. For me, it was like same thing when I was younger. Only want to play shows. Only want to play drums. I was huge into skateboarding, but drums was way cooler.
I feel you.
I have a huge background in music as well. My Uncle Tony plays guitar really amazing. My
Yeah, dude,
dad's
Tony
really,
Keck,
oh,
man.
Dude.
I remember my dad, before I ever knew
Tony.
you, my dad was taking me to watch your uncle.
Oh yeah.
There were a couple of King Crabapple songs that I wrote that were inspired by watching your uncle.
Yeah, so Uncle Tony, I don't know if pioneered is the right word, but I know that he had some techniques for tapping where he played this guitar essentially like a piano.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Rhythm,
a great way to put it.
Rhythm on one hand, lead on another, but he's playing beautiful melody. He's doing like all of these covers, playing the rhythm section and then playing the vocal line.
Yep.
And people were just blown away by this guy. And he's a really incredible blues player. I've heard him play Latin, the crazy, nylon strings.
Yep.
And just, dude, this guy is another guy like Mike that if he moved to Nashville or somewhere where he probably would have been more appreciated musically. I mean, I know he was very appreciated here, but obviously you move away to these places, especially pre-internet era.
Yeah.
Or pre-popularity of social media.
Yeah.
Pre-YouTube, all that shit.
Yeah.
You move away to these places that appreciate you as a musician, and I think that my Uncle Tony should have, and he probably would have been one of the top players around.
Oh, guaranteed.
He would have been a legend.
Yeah.
I know.
Innovative is the word that I think
Yeah.
of when I think about your Uncle Tony.
And I know that he went to New York and filmed a DVD. He did an instructional DVD, I think, with like Hudson Music or something. If you've ever heard of Hudson Music,
No.
I think they make a lot of maybe it wasn't them, but anyways, it was somebody, and they flew him out. I mean, the military has flown him to, I think Korea, or he went somewhere and played for the troops.
Hell yeah.
So like he's done some really cool shit. And my dad had a band in the '90s, and they released a record. They were called Illicit Act. Incredible band, dude. They had so much potential, but conflicting members.
Yeah.
Not getting along. Clashing of personality.
I feel like
drugs.
I feel like that's the detriment for like most bands is like most of the bands that I think of breaking up. It's because they just like can't get along.
Yeah, you see these Facebook or social media posts of bands breaking up, and it's like creative differences. Like, sure, yeah, like it's good to have respect for each other and be polite, but no, you just fucking didn't get along, and like
you just didn't get along as people.
Yeah, and I feel like I have this robust history, similarly to you. You've got this robust musical history where your it's in your DNA, just like me. My dad, everybody around me grew up. I mean, dude, I went to multiple concerts in the womb. Metallica at L.C. Walker Arena in 1991.
Hell yeah.
I was there in my mom's womb at that concert.
That's amazing.
So it's like
that explains a lot.
Yeah. For whom the bell toll. Yeah. But what I'm getting at is like I feel like what we have here in Muskegon, West Michigan, it can't be like this other places. I've seen
I really
the
don't
people-
know.
It can't be like this. I've traveled everywhere. I've toured with Southpaw all over the country, and I can't find anything like Muskegon.
Right.
Never.
It's really incredible.
So shout out to Muskegon. I appreciate all the people here, the people that have the drive and the passion, people that don't get enough credit. Frank Peterson, he built this, he rebuilt the downtown with everybody else involved, but
Done an incredible job.
He had this awesome vision to do the downtown, and it's not done. The downtown is not done.
And just really like believing in the area.
Major.
Believing in the potential of the area.
More than people can even fathom.
Yeah.
But once you get involved in politics and local government, I mean, my neighbor is somebody who ran for, his wife ran for governor, and he's got incredible stories of, I'm hoping to have him on the podcast.
Okay, that'd be a good one.
I want him to be comfortable to talk about it, but he's got some incredible stories about being involved in politics and what that's like and what it's like to be a spouse.
It's got to be hard.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. He has crazy stories, but with you being in just local government, there's stuff. People, no matter what, people get so angry, even when you're trying to do good. And
yeah.
I don't know where I'm going with this, but Muskegon is like absolutely a unique gem. I'm super happy to be here. I'm super happy to know you. And I can't thank you enough for doing this, man.
Yeah.
Podcast episode number 1. We've made it.
We did it.
And what a beautiful setting.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Tell everybody, who should they be listening to? Your bands. Where can we find that shit?
Oh, well, Flexidecibel is all over Spotify, YouTube, all that stuff, and we'll be coming out with a new album fairly shortly, probably before next spring.
You tracked it?
Oh, yeah.
In your studio?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yep, at the Farmhouse.
Farmhouse Studios.
Farmhouse Studios.
It's incredible that you have you bring so much to the table as a musician.
I appreciate that, man.
Engineering, killer playing, killer stage presence, killer looks.
Man.
It
feels good, man. It feels good to, the last bands that I've joined, it's felt really good to have my presence kind of validated, I guess is the word. And when I joined Calico, like, you guys were all so super nice and kind of told me that I bring like an enthusiasm to the table, which is kind of has made me realize that about myself, that I kind of bring an energy.
I think so. It's a unique thing that you can bring to the table with us, because we had all these really cool shows with notable people or notable bands right off the bat.
Yep.
We had to put this together. Every practice that we've ever had has kind of been like, oh shit, we're practicing to
got to fill the set.
Yeah, we have to get this set. All we wanted to do was write. Brett and I stayed up till like 4 a.m. the other night, like demoing out the song that we wrote.
Yeah.
Have you listened to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contact?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Not that one?
Nope. That was something that I created by myself.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
All right.
But when you showed up for us and played with us for the first time, it was like this unity between the rest of us again, And I shouldn't say again, because we've only been a band for like a year.
Right.
But you get distracted. All of us have other bands. I play in a country band every weekend, it seemed like this summer, which is amazing. Shout out Neon Crows, and that is like a new direction for me to go, and I love it. But this is like a passion project, and you help fuel some of my passion, like being involved in that.
I love that.
Like, I'm like motivated to come to practice and get together, and like before I was too, obviously, but it's different.
I love that, man.
It's different.
I think that's something that I'm realizing about myself recently, from what you guys have mentioned in Calico, and Bobby in Flexidecibel has also kind of mentioned something to me about that too. And I'm starting to realize that I kind of bring an energy to the table that that is motivating and inspiring, and I
think
love
so.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about myself before, and it feels good. Like I really appreciate like kind of knowing that about myself now.
When you are down sailing and when you're in Florida living, there's no way you're not playing music, bro.
No.
There's no way you're letting that. Like,
Mercedes is an incredible singer.
wow.
She really is. And
That's a cool dynamic, bro.
it is a cool dynamic, and I'm trying to get us to play some more music together. She has one of the most soulful voices that I've ever been around. One of the most natural voices, too.
So, have you guys, I mean, like, think about like a movie or a storybook. Like, have you guys ever been out there on the water, moonshining or
Yep.
sun, and you're just playing away, bro? Like,
We got
in
some
the ocean.
We got some videos. We got some live videos of me playing acoustic guitar and her singing, and they're pretty cool.
You know what you should do, bro? You guys should seriously, consistently do social media videos. Start a TikTok, start a fucking YouTube,
Yeah.
and do that. Like call it something cool. Like Brett and his wife, Courtney's a really good singer too.
Oh, really? I didn't realize
Oh,
that.
dude. Yeah. Oh, dude. She's like, Brett's wife has done like voice acting for cartoons.
Dog,
you
what?
can go on like Amazon Prime and watch these cartoons.
Dude, that's amazing.
They both were in the Young Americans.
They're also like some of the nicest people in the entire
The
world.
nicest people. Sometimes it's scary. Like, don't murder me. But they, Brett is another really interesting guy I hope to have on the podcast. He has tons of stories from sailing around on a cruise ship. I mean, for those of you that like to cruise, he did it for I think 7 years, and
Gigging on cruise ships?
gigging
Oh, cool.
exclusively.
That's sweet.
He's played a show in like every continent in the world. Being like doing that, and again, he's here in Muskegon. He came back, and this is a unique place. He loves
Yeah.
it here. Like,
Yeah.
but what I'm getting at is they have pancake breakfast. That's what their like duo's called.
Pancake breakfast?
Pancake
That's
breakfast.
perfect.
So it's like,
I got to hear her sing.
dude, their stuff is like, I want to play it if I want to cry,
Right.
like in a happy way,
Oh, yeah.
like because
Like plucks on them heartstrings.
heartstrings fully, like
I love that.
like they have this
Do
video.
they harmonize together?
Oh yeah,
I'm going to cry.
they have this video where they're singing to each other, looking so deeply into each other's
Stop.
eyes. Yeah. I'm like, can I just marry you guys?
Yeah, right. Let's
Can
get
me and Jill-
let's get
yeah,
a thruple
foursome,
going.
No, they've become really good friends of ours. Their kids are the same age. Our kids, Beckham is his son. My daughter Violet. They love each other like they're best friends, dude. It's incredible. I always joke though. I'm like, keep your boys away from my daughters.
Right, yeah.
But man, I'd really love to spend some more time with you and your family as well. And,
Yeah.
and same with Costa. His son. Like, all of us have kids, and we just don't get them together enough. And
Yeah.
and we should, bro.
Yeah, we really should. It can be tough,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Mr. Will Juno, we've got, Flexadecibel. You can find them on Spotify. You can find them on Apple Music, YouTube. Some cool music videos that Mikey
right.
Stifler's done. You've got King Crabapple. You need to listen to King Crabapple if you haven't. Go to Spotify, put that shit on. Heater is an amazing song.
I love that song.
You did the music video. You engineered it.
That was the first video that I ever did in my life.
That's wild. And it's really cool, actually. I mean, shit, what else? What else do you have musically that people can access?
Calico. It's just
Calico?
it's
Yeah.
a grime reggae band that I recently joined. It's going to be pretty much top of the charts.
We need to release stuff together
Yeah.
in that, obviously. We have some cool stuff coming up. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll talk about that on another episode that we do. But it'd be cool to do a band episode.
Yeah, let's get the boys in here.
But, dude, I can't thank you enough for doing this with me.
No, I appreciate it.
And,
I had a great time.
if there's, anything that I can do for you, I was going to say if there's anything that I can come on, but that sounds really bad.
My chest.
Yeah. I meant like coming out.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You fucking. No, but yeah. I mean, let's keep rocking and show the world what we got going on with
Heck yeah.
Calico. And yeah, like I said,
All right.
thanks, man.
Episode 1.
All
We
right.
out.
Thank you.